my name is Beck and welcome to my magical TBR. This is a readathon that's happening for the entire month of August. It comes with a whole bunch of prompts. The first one was done in April and this is a follow-on. So I have an entire list of books that I want to read in addition to my August to be read list, which I filmed separately to this video. So I'm really hoping that I can get through this readathon in half the time, or maybe a week, who knows. I really have high hopes for August for my reading, so we'll just see how it goes. So I have a whole bunch of reading prompts here and I've tried to answer them as best I can. In some ways I've had to kind of cheat. I don't want to say cheat, but I feel like it's also kind of cheating, but it's a readathon done for fun, so who really cares, to be honest. This readathon revolves around the premise of you are a character going to a magical school and so you have to pass your exams, and every book you read is the equivalent to passing an exam, or at least that was what happened in April. Now we've passed our magical exams and we have to qualify for our career. So I've chosen Mind Melder as my career, and because I've chosen that as a career, I then look at it in all the documents that G from Book Roasters made, because she created this readathon, and from that I've managed to narrow down which grades I need to pass, which means I know now what books I need to read based on those reading prompts. Rather complicated, but all you need to know is that I need a particular grade in each subject and each grade corresponds with a book I need to read. So without further ado, let's get into my TBR. Actually, I lied. I might just tell the prompts first. So for the prompts, I need an O in spells and incantations, a D in psionics and divination, and a Q in restoration. So altogether that equals about 6 books I need to read. So for the prompt of spells and incantations, which I need an O for, that reading prompt is a spell. So I need to go online, look at a color wheel, click spin, and then read the book that that color chooses. And I've already done this ahead of time so I could make this list, so I'm not going to show anything now, but the color that I got was light green. And the only book that really matched this prompt that I had was Legends and Lattes, because the orc is green, and I've been on a massive kick of cozy sci-fi and cozy fantasy lately, if you saw my July wrap up, and so this is going to be perfect because this is like if 2 characters went to a coffee shop and opened one and they were sick of, you know, going to war and doing battle and stuff. I believe that's the general premise, and I've seen really hyped reviews of this and I've seen kind of mediocre reviews. So I'm really hoping that because I've been in the mood for reading this kind of story lately, that I become one of those hyped reviews. So Legends and Lattes is the first book that I'm going to be reading from this TBR. So then we jump into psionics and divination as a subject, and so to get an O grade in that, I need to pass Time Theory 1, which is read a book with time travel, and I had no books with time travel, so here is where I start to cheat, because I've got the Kaiju Preservation Society, and this is kind of like if Jurassic Park meets Pacific Rim, as far as I believe. And I'm really looking forward to trying out John Scalzi because I've never read his sci-fi before. So because this isn't time travel, I went as close as I could, and this is kind of like an alternate dimension. That's got to count for this prompt because I've got nothing else. And it's a short book, so hopefully I can get through this one as well. I'm probably going to say hopefully a lot in this video because I have a lot of high hopes. And then in addition to that, also for psionics and divination, I've got to get a Q grade. So after I finish the Kaiju Preservation Society, I then have to read another book to kind of go up a level, and that is for Q, which is Time Theory 2, which is read a book with a word shared by the book from the first prompt. So I've got to find a book that shares the title with that, and I really struggled. So instead of sharing the title, I looked at John Scalzi, the surname of S, and I have a book by an author, Brandon Sanderson, called Dark One. So I'm trying not to avoid this anymore. You heard it here first. This is a graphic novel. I think it's a standalone, and I think it's about the inverse of a hero. So instead of a hero's journey, you're getting the villain. I think it might also be an alternate dimension, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's kind of like if a anime character went to a new magical world. It's kind of that trope, I suppose. And so I'm looking forward to trying this, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about the art style, but in terms of the reading prompt, I think this is actually pretty good. Scalzi, Sanderson, it's the closest I could get. And then the last grading under psionics and divination is a D for, I think, distinction, and it's introductory palmistry, read a second-hand book. and I don't have any secondhand books. The only one I can think of is a copy from a publisher. So I think I requested this, I can't remember, but it's all that's left in the world, and I think this is a young adult post-apocalyptic book about two boys, and it's a romance. That's all I know about it, and this has been on my TBR shamefully for a very long time. I think it came out like March this year, so I've had it for an embarrassingly long time, and I figured getting it done for a readathon would be good because I usually read young adult pretty quickly, so that is the aim here. And then we are on to restoration, the final overall prompt for this readathon for me, and the first question in here, or the first subject in here, is O, which is object restoration, which is a single object as a focus on a cover, and I didn't have many of those either, but I did have Aquacorn Cove, and this has the character flying an aquacorn on the cover, and this is the closest I could get. I have pretty much read everything else on my TBR that sufficed for this prompt, or it was way long and I didn't want to include it on a readathon because I've got a whole lot of long books on my actual August TBR that's separate to this video. So this will have to do, and because it's a graphic novel and it's really short, I thought it would be great. And then my final prompt for the readathon is Q under restoration, and that is Enchanted Scroll Mending, which is the oldest book on your TBR. And I don't actually know if this is necessarily the oldest book on my TBR, but this is a book that I've had in multiple to be read videos over the course of this year, and I just keep not making time for it just because I either don't feel the need to read it because I'm not in the right mood for it, or I just get distracted by other stuff. So magic burns. This is the second Alona Andrews book, and it's an urban fantasy, an adult urban fantasy about shapeshifters, and I have no excuses now. I really have no excuses left. I need to read this. And again, it's such a small little book. It's so quick to read. I finished the first one quite quickly as well. It's the last one on this magical TBR, so lucky last, but definitely not least. I'm aiming to get to it. I really hope that I can. This is me just putting forward hope into the universe, because if I could finish all of these in a week, then that would be incredible. But that is my magical TBR. Let me know if you're participating in this readathon as well. I would love to know. Let me know down in the comments how many books you want to read for the readathon. But thank you so much for watching this video. I'll chat to you down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.